welcome to the Priggya Arora Show, where we discuss law, innovation, and entrepreneurship with people who have been there and done that. My name is Priggya Arora, founder of PA Legal, an intellectual property law firm, and we have a very special guest today, Mr. Pankaj Tyagi. He works in a specific niche, which is GI, and today we'll discuss more about geographical indications. Hi, Pankaj. Welcome on the show.
Hi, Prigya. Good evening, everyone.
Yeah, good to see you. So, Pankaj is my college buddy. We have been very dear friends since college days, and I feel privileged that he is here today.
No, it's my privilege, because it's a global platform. So, coming on this platform is really honor for me, and I'm really thankful to you for inviting me, for sharing some of my thoughts.
Thank you, Pankaj. So, for the audience, can you tell us your life story and how did you get where you are today?
So, all journey started, like my law journey started in year 2014 when I joined the law school. We joined the school together. And it was the fifth semester where we got this course related to GI. So there was an optional course. I chose this, and it was taught by our ex-dean, Padmavati ma'am. So, the beauty of her courses was that she was more practical. She was always trying to give you more real insights. So by the end of this semester, fifth semester, we finished our exams around 22nd November 2016. I remember the date because a few days back, I was writing a research paper related to my experience. So, at that time, I was just, searching that how it all started. So I remember that date, like it was 22nd November 2016. So ma'am floated
Wow.
a email that, we want that whatever you have learned throughout your course, you should go and explore and see how can you benefit the society, because the intent of GI is to benefit society at large. It's one form of IP which is specifically for the people. It's not for the individual. So ma'am had this thought, and she has discussed all these things with the director. It was like Professor PPC was there at that time. So she discussed everything with him, and then she floated this mail that those students who are interested, please come. So we went there, and the thought was that, like, because it's a national institute, so there were students from all states. So she wanted that you go back to your states and explore that what are the possible products for which we can file GI, because we have studied everything in a semester. So we were all aware about the provisions, the requirements of the act. So that was the initial step which happened. And so I come from Rajasthan. So I because I have done one internship in year 2013. It was a young intern program started by government of Rajasthan. So we were privileged just like an IAS officer. So
Wow.
we all had this privilege. So I did this internship. This was 2-month internship. So in that internship, I was handling a program related to Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan. So I was supposed to analyze all those things, and then I have to share the details with the Chief Secretary of Government of Rajasthan. So at that time, my mentor was Mr. Amrish Kumar, IAS. So he was the district collector. So he told me that, you go to that this place SOJAT. They are having a unique product which is Mehendi, and it's a very specific to that particular location, and its quality is amazing, and the revenue comes from this particular product to that local body, to the district administration, is pretty good.
Yeah.
So he told me to visit that place and understand that, how's the education also all this. So I remember that there is one product and which is having a unique thing. So once I got all those this Padma ma'am thing and that connection which happened in 2013. So it was just a coincidence, and with that, so I started. So my journey started for this in December 2017. It was winter vacation. I came to, just I was like totally new to the place. I came to the place, had certain views, don't know anyone in Sojat. So I just went, start exploring the things, start meeting with the local sellers, local farmers. And then somewhere I got to know the local administrative body. Then they helped me a lot. And it was like the first month was just try to explore the product. What are the uniqueness, what are the things related to products. So I explored each and everything. I like made documentary kind of things, click picture of the product, farmers, producers, sellers, the administrative body, and I have done all those research in a 1 month winter vacation. So my whole vacation is spent in Rajasthan. But it was really nice because it's kind of, like we saw a lot of discovery things, lot of movies. When you go, you see people are making all those things. But I got that privilege to do everything by my own. And credit goes to, again, here Padmavati ma'am and Raju sir also. So Raju sir is also a professor at RG. So he ensured that I get all the money for all this project from IIT Kharagpur. So that's what I am amazing. Like, it was a kind of a sponsored vacation for me, and like exploring all those things. So once everything done, I made a presentation and I submitted that presentation to the Dean R&D through Padma ma'am and Raju sir. So they liked it and they said, like, let's file a GI application on that. So from there it all started. So that was my first chapter. I came in my final semester, I submitted everything, and that's where it all started.
Wow, that's so great. Some of our interest starts back in the college, and at that point, we are not even aware that what we are going to do after the college ends and whether we'll enter into this field or not. But I think it's very, very interesting to know how this interest started. So, Pankaj, for our audience who do not know what is a GI, can you briefly explain that what is a GI and what is the importance of that GI tag on the product?
So, like, in general sense, the word explains you the meaning, right? Like any product which is connected with the geography
Yeah,
will be considered as a geographical indication. There are certain requirements which we have to establish. In broad, the biggest requirement is the uniqueness of a product, and that uniqueness need to be connected with the location, need to be connected with the geography. The
yeah,
biggest example we always call the Darjeeling tea in India, because the tea comes from that particular location. There are only certain number of tea gardens from which that Darjeeling tea is coming. So that's one of the biggest example. And then on global level, it's Champagne. It's the name
yeah.
of a village in France. So anything where you establish these two things, that there is a uniqueness in the product and that uniqueness is associated with the geography, then that product will be eligible to get a GI tag.
Correct.
Uh,
So Pankaj, that beautifully explained the example of Darjeeling tea and champagne. So here, probably we can differentiate between trademark and GI. For example, for trademark also we have to show uniqueness in terms of the mark we are using. But for that, it is specifically should not be related to any geographical indication or a geography or a place. But for GI, it has to be limited to a particular geography, location, or a place. So for GI, like how do we define geographic? It should it be a state? Should it be a country? Should it be a place or a smaller place? How do we generally define it?
so like it's something, it's kind of IP right, which is supposed to protect the rights of a particular society, particular locality. Like
Yeah,
trademark is a right which goes to an individual, which goes to an industry, which might go to a company, right? But
yeah,
when I talk about GI, you can't, all those three names which I have taken are not eligible to get a GI.
correct,
So GI only goes to a group or a society. So that's the biggest difference, right? And now when you want to say that, how to define, for example, if I'm sitting in Dehradun and I want to call it like this particular sweet is there, and I want to call it that, it is known as a Uttarakhand sweet, can I call it? The answer is no. The reason is you have to establish a historical linkage also. So
correct.
when I share that, there is a requirement of a document, so there is a list of documents you need to submit to the government. So that documents also required a historical evidence, because I remember that when I was doing my research related to SOJAT Mehendi, finding out the historical document was a huge challenge. And I'm really thankful to Department of Science and Technology, Government of Rajasthan. They helped me to get a document. So we retrieve a document of all around, like, during the time of that red document came from these what to say, the king, the rulers had certain documents. So I got that document from Jodhpur, and with that document we established, look, that mehendi production in Sojat is happening from almost 100 years back.
Correct.
So you have to establish the history. So it's not like that I can start working out a product now and then I can go for a GI. No, it should have a history of at least 30-40 years. Then only you can go and apply for GI.
So that's interesting to know that we need a longer history to get a GI tag. So I'm sure, like, when once we have a GI tag on a product, it becomes more economically and financially viable, probably for the purpose of exports or even in our country. So can you tell us how it happens, like why the economic value of the product increases after we have a GI tag?
So, like, I'll start this with an example. You see bhujia, right? So if I talk about bhujia, there are two big players in India for bhujia making. One is Bikaji, the Mr. Amitabh Bachchan do their ad, and the other is Haldiram.
Correct.
So if you see the Bikaneri bhujia, they use the GI logo on their product.
Yeah.
And if you see Haldiram bhujia, they don't have any logo. So once they use that logo, this logo gives an assurance to the people that this product is coming from that particular geography. So you can manufacture bhujia anywhere in the world, but Bikaneri bhujia is having a unique taste, and that taste comes because of the water of the Bikaner. So Bikaneri bhujia, which is manufactured by Bikaji, is having that taste, and they have a manufacturing plant in Bikaner which is using a water of Bikaner. So that's why they are allowed to use that particular tag. And the value of that tag is that if you go to the Sydney center or Sydney shop of Bikaji, you will get the same bhujia with that logo, and you will have an assurance to, look, I am going to get a genuine bhujia which is coming from Bikaner. So that's the value, right? People feel that connect, because if you are a foodie, I'm just taking an example, so you will definitely admire the taste of Bikaneri bhujia coming from Bikaji, from this Bikaner, and from somewhere else, because I can, sitting in Jaipur, I can make bhujia here also, but the water is different, right? So because Bikaner water hardness is higher than other places, and it is having some unique characteristics which helps to get that unique taste of Bikaneri bhujia. So that's one example where that logo gives an assurance to the buyer, and that's why it's very important. Like, when we say that champagne comes from that particular locality.
Correct.
You can't say that you're sitting in India and then you are manufacturing champagne. No, then you can't use that particular logo, because that product should come from that particular geography only. Then only there is a validity of that geographical indication tag.
Wonderful, wonderful. So I think this gives a lot of clarity to why people should go ahead, probably group of people or in society should go ahead and file for GI. So Pankaj, because it is a group effort, that too from a particular location, do you think that states or particular government has a lot of role to play in getting the products a GI tag? And if so, how do they help or how do they come into picture?
Yeah, government plays a significant role in this. And that's why, again, like, I again repeat the same thing, that it's a society rights. And when we say society is represented by a government.
Correct.
So because society is having no face, government is the player which represents a society. So because there are a lot of documents required for establishing the GI thing. So
Yeah.
one document is proof of origin, which we talk about the historical data, historical tags, historical books, and then we have to meet certain rules of the society. because you need a local society who is going to take care of that application, who is going to take care of the product. Then you have to establish an inspection body who is going to ensure that the uniqueness, the quality of that product is remain there. You can't, like, today you get a tag and then you stop looking that, whether people are maintaining that quality or not, because now people are having a trust that this tag is there, then the quality must be there. But we there is possibilities, or there are possibilities that someone is not going to adhere with that those qualities.
Correct.
So all those things are there, and for that government role is very much important. And I think I'm definitely going to, there are government, like every state government is working very hard to promote their local products, to promote their, and this comply with the motto of our center government also, because they say that, make in India. And when you want to promote your local products, this GI tags give a bigger brand value to your products, because you can establish your products through your geography. So there are state governments like Rajasthan government is working pretty good. The UP government, amazing works. Then government from southern part of this country, like Tamil Nadu government, Karnataka government, and it is reflecting with the numbers also. So like if I talk about the numbers, currently there are 932 GI applications has been filed in
Awesome.
India. And the diversity is huge in our country, but you can see the volume of products filed for GI tag. And out of these 932, 420 are registered so far.
Awesome.
And this expansion of GI portfolio in India is happening in last 2-3 years. Very good. The government support is phenomenal. The GI registry, the IP India is conducting sessions to make people aware, to make these people aware, to protect these rights and all those things. And if I talk about the state-wise distribution of GI, I would say, like, I think Karnataka is one of the leading state in this. So Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, all these are the leading state in filing and protecting their local products through GI tag. So government plays a significant role in this.
Uh, so Pankaj, just a personal question, and I believe you'll have to give quick answer to this. So what is your favorite GI product that you use?
Favorite, I eat bhujia a lot. So I'm saying, like, every week one Bikaneri bhujia with that tag of GI, and I always cherish that. Like, I always share this with people that, see, this tag is coming, this tag is coming. So yeah.
Yeah,
So
this
personally,
is
I
this
eat
is from
bhujia.
Bikaner.
Yeah, this is from Bikaner. So
Wow. So Pankaj, can you tell us, like, I'm sure, because the people who have to file GI, or to the people um, to who can claim the benefits of GI, are probably not that aware in our country. So can you tell us, like, how can we, like, for example, if I have an idea, okay, this product from Uttarakhand is capable of getting a GI. So how do I reach to them, or how do I advise them that they should go ahead and file GI, or they should come up as a society? Because I think association of person can only apply for GI. So how can they, because I think on the ground level, if we see that there could be personal rivalry among the smaller players, and because you have done the groundwork, so you would be more capable of telling us about this. So how do we bring together? You have done this in Sojat Kids, so that's why. How do you bring about that harmony among people, and ask them to form an association and then file a GI? So how can we take care of these aspects?
So, like, I'll answer in the reverse way. First, I'll answer the second portion of your question, which is about how do you handle rivalry and all those things. So that's a brilliant question, because this is very practical aspect of this GI. So I faced this situation in Sojat Mehendi case, where we, like, everything was done and we were expecting a grant. Then this pandemic happened, so it got delayed because of that. And meanwhile, there was some local rivalry, and we faced a pre-grant opposition. So there was opposition coming from a local person, a local manufacturer, and he was having certain grounds. So, And that's where it's important. So like I told you in last answer that state government plays a significant role in that.
Correct.
So because when this all these things came, the district collector, he called a meeting, he called all the stakeholders related to that, and we sat together, we decided, like we also filed the response for that opposition also. And parallelly we were doing these talks, because a resolution through, like the way you, that the harmony should be there in the society, because a local product should give benefits to everyone, it should not limit to a particular person. So we sat together and we discussed all the differences between that person and the other people. So thanks to the state government and thanks to the district administration, those the collectors back then, so they helped us very much, and we were able to resolve the issue, and then we ended happily and we got a grant. So when, now coming to the first part where you said, like, I know there is a particular product and how I am going to start. So first I will tell you, there's a 10 documents you required, and you can help them to get all those 10 documents with the support of the government. So one is that you have to have a name and a class, right? So like for example, I'm calling it as SOJAT Mehendi. You call it as a Rajasthani Mehendi. Someone calls SOJAT Hina. So now we can see three names for a particular product, right? There might be other names also. So we have to establish like what's the name which is very much popular for that particular product. So
Yeah.
that's one thing you have to find it out, and for that we need to do research, we need to collect evidences. So again, the government plays a good role in this. The local administration, the tehsildar and the SDM, they played a good role into that. Then the second document is about the proof of origin, the thing which I'm talking about, the historical records, the historical data, the historical text. You need that. That is very, very important. And again, you need to, because there is a product coming from a particular geography, but to know the history of that particular product. So that is where we need to do research. And again, so like every step you need a government, right? Government support. Then the specification of a product. What exactly the details of your product? What are the characteristics of that product? And the most important part, like you rightly said, that we need a society, right? And when we need a society, we need to assemble all those people, and there are a lot of differences, because everyone thinks in reality that why these people are coming and they want that we should get a GI tag, right? There must be some interest. So you have to reveal them, and because when you go through government, they can easily understand, because they believe that government is doing something.
Correct.
But when you go individually, when you try to teach them by your own, by just going directly with them and interacting with them, that trust is not going to come. So that
Yeah.
when you go through government, they can easily give you that belief, give you that trust. Look, these guys are going something good for us.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where, so like you have to make rules and regulation of that society also. You have to give a name to that society. There must be some like conditions, how to become the member of the society and all those things. So you have to make and frame all those things. Then the other document you required, need to have a certified copy of a map, a
Yeah.
copy of map, like in which that product is manufacturing or product is developed. Because one interesting thing happens once a product get a GI tag. So a migration of your GI product also happens.
Correct.
It's not everywhere, but in the terms of handicraft product, the migration of GI happens.
Correct.
So this is, I think we can detailed topic, but broadly, what is required, that you need to provide a map to the government. Look, these are the location where this product is manufacturing or developed or producing. Then you need to have a logo also, because you can see that Bikaneri Bhujia is having a logo, Sojat Mehendi is having a logo, Darjeeling Tea is having a logo. So that logo needs to be there. And so all these things are happened. Now the other document you require to establish the uniqueness.
Yeah.
The uniqueness, how you establish your uniqueness. So like uniqueness, is it in the taste, is it in the texture, is it in the looks, is it in the weight, nutrients? So everything you have to establish, and this establishment requires document, certifications. So you go to the research body, the certifying body, the regulatory bodies. You have to give the samples of your product, and sometimes you have to give a comparative report. So for taking the example of SOJAT Mehendi, because there are certain places where Mehendi is growing. Even you are sitting in Dehradun, you can also produce Mehendi in Dehradun. Then how I can establish that this is a Mehendi of SOJAT and this is the Mehendi of Dehradun and this is the Mehendi of Madhya Pradesh and this is the
Yeah,
Mehendi of Gujarat. So we have to establish and we have to, see these are the documents. This is saying that these are the unique characteristic of SOJAT Mehendi, and these characteristics are not coming in other places Mehendi. So
correct.
this is again you have to establish in front of the government. Then you have to provide the document related to the process, the manufacturing process, the producing process, through photographs and through videos. And the final thing is the inspection body. So you have to give a details related to an inspection body, that once everything is done, once you have a GI tag, how you are going to make sure that the quality of your product is going to be maintained.
Correct.
So these are the main 10 things which we need to provide, and for this you need a good help from government. And
Absolutely. And it looks like a longer process with a lot of documentation. How much time did it take you to get Sojat Mehendi registered as a GI tag?
around 4 years.
Wow.
And yeah, so like my case was a different one. Like if someone has to do it, because now if I have to do, I can do it within a year or two. Out of 4 years, almost 1 year took in research,
Correct.
because doing everything by my own, I have to go every place. I have to go sit into libraries. I have to retrieve all those archive documents and all those things. Reading all those documents was a challenge. And because you need help, so when I connected through government, they helped me. They connected with me some historians. They helped me to get that document very easily. But as a law student, if you start doing everything by your own, it's very tough.
Yeah.
So yeah, but like there are like people from Uttar Pradesh. They have made society. There are people from Maharashtra also. They are like focusing specifically
Correct.
on GI. So the process is like is very very smooth. The government helps a lot. The GI registry is very supportive to give you a GI tag. They help very very much, which is a rare thing coming from the government. Like not rare thing, but typically when you talk about other types of IP, you don't get much support. But in terms of GI registry, you get phenomenal support from the
Correct.
IP India. So that's a great part.
Awesome. Yeah, looks like a very good process. And I think everybody should at least try this process once so that they know exactly what happens on the ground. The experience in itself looks very, very wonderful.
Yeah, like all these things help you to understand the practicalities of law, because there is a act, there is a set of rules. But when you go on ground, you understand that how you have to enforce them. Now the other part, like my first part is done, right? I have get a GI tag. The second challenge is to bring the value to the people of the GI tag. They
Correct.
must start ensuring that benefits out of GI tag. So that's again challenging part. And this is where I believe India needs to put more efforts. We
Yeah.
are currently focusing more on registration and tag, which is a great thing. But the second part is that how we are able to commercialize it more efficiently. So if we talk about, we only have, like in broad sense, we only have single digit products of GI tag, having GI tag, which is economically generating a lot of values. Like Darjeeling tea is there, Basmati rice is there. And except those two products, I can say that there is some coffee coming from Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu, and some more products like Kashmiri shawl is also there. But
Yeah.
very few number of products are there which are truly getting benefits out of this GI tag. One
Correct.
bhujia is also there. So I think we need to have certain frameworks, certain guidelines to ensure that these GI tags start getting more value through some mechanism. So that
Correct.
need to be worked upon.
I think very rightly said, because the process in itself takes so much time and effort. So I think the commercial viability is something what all people look at when we do this process. So I think very rightly said, maybe we can propose the government that we should look into the export side of the GI products more. That can bring value to India as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, like governments, they conduct these fairs also, they conduct these like meets also, so
Correct.
they are putting efforts. But if we have a like specific norms, a clear cut guidelines how to approach and all those things, so then it would be easier for people. Because if you look into all those things, most of the people who are applying for GI or who are getting the benefits out of GI products are coming from the lower strata of society, right? So they are not much aware. They are like, they need to have a helping hand to guide them throughout the process and throughout the benefits. So
Awesome. So now, Pankaj, we'll come to you and your life and a little rapid fire round so that the audience is able to know you as well.
yeah.
So, what are three things in life you are grateful for?
Okay. Three things. The first thing is IIT, my experience at IIT Kharagpur Law School. I'm really thankful to those experiences because I learned a lot. My thought process got so much expanded. I met with some great people like you and some great faculties, not from my department, from all department, because the
Yeah.
thought process across that IIT campus is amazing. So that's the one thing. The other thing is my like sports is something I'm like, I'm
Passionate.
die hard passionate about all those things. So sport is something which I am always look for. And the third is my parents.
Awesome.
First they bring me in this world, and the other is they always supports me. So these are
Wow.
the three things.
IIT sports and family. Great.
Yeah, right.
So, two, three traits that you think are useful for a career.
So first thing is planning, because planning is very important. How you plan your day, how you plan your week, how you plan your months, that is very important. Even though it is random, but you need to have a plan, because planning helps you to figure out how you are going to achieve your short-term goals, your daily goals, your monthly goals. So one thing is planning. And the second thing, I believe, habit of reading,
Wow.
because when you read a lot, you learn a lot. Because I remember when I submitted my presentation in January 2017, and I was chilled that someone else is going to IIT is going to outsource this GI thing, and someone else has to come. But the dynamics change, right? And then these people from SOJAT were calling me, no, when you are going to file for GI and all those things. And I was like, come on, I'm doing a job, right? Why I'm supposed to do all those things? But that's where I started understanding, look, I have to have these people because they have given me their trust. So I started reading the GI Act, the rules and all those things, and I understand the process. And then by my own, through the help of my professors, I started this process and initiated this process. So this helps me a lot. So yeah, reading plays a crucial role for your.
Planning and reading are
Yes,
two favorite traits.
yes, yes,
And one
obviously.
aspiration you have for the future.
Aspiration. Okay. So my biggest aspiration is that I want to learn more deeper insights of the law and technology, because I'm very much involved into technology. I love knowing about technologies, and I want to understand the deeper insights. Why the framing of certain thing happens in related to technology and laws. So that's my biggest aspiration. And additionally, I believe, since I come from a legal fraternity, I believe that we must have a society, or we must have a certain laws which in real terms treat people equally, that true justice must be given to everyone. So that's one of my biggest aspiration.
Awesome. True justice
True
and
justice, right?
law and tech.
Yeah.
So, Pankaj, any final thoughts that you want to conclude with?
So first of all, thank you very much, Prigya, for having me. Because of you, I got to recall all those things again, and the it's amazing, like because
It's like sitting in the college and chatting about GI.
exactly, and the way the flow of your questions was very smooth. So I really because the way we started and the way we finished. So it's a good thing to understand GI. I think broadly anybody can understand by watching your video that how to start the process and what are the practical challenges and how to overcome all those practical challenges. So phenomenal job done by you. And the second thing is that like your platform is amazing, right? Because I don't think so there is much platform of IP which bring regular insights about IP, and not from India. You're bringing people across the globe, so that's a huge thing, and hats off to you for doing it so regularly. So
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Pankaj. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart for coming here and telling us more about GI. I could not find any better person in my network than you speaking about GI and letting people know what GI tags are. Thank you so much for your time and willingness to share.
thank you very much, Pragya.
Hey there, thank you for attending today's session. If you enjoyed today's session, do follow our channel and consider sharing it with a friend. My name is Priggya Arora, daughter of inspiring parents, alumna of IIT Kharagpur, engineer turned lawyer and entrepreneur, and now founder of PL Legal, where we help creators and innovators protect their intellectual property. Thank you.